off on his walk, taking his big purple crayon with him. But he didn't seem to be getting anywhere on the long straight path, so he left the path for a shortcut around the field, and the moon went with him. The shortcut led right to where Harold thought a forest ought to be. He didn't want to get lost in the woods, so he made a small forest with just one tree in it. It turned out to be an apple tree. The apples would be very tasty, Harold thought, when they got red. So he put a frightening dragon under the tree to guard the apples. It was a terrifying, frightening dragon. It even frightened Harold. He backed away. His hand with the purple crayon shook. Suddenly he realized what has happened, but by then Harold was over his head in an ocean. He came up thinking fast, and in no time Harold was climbing aboard a trim little boat. He quickly set sail, and the moon sailed along with him. After he had sailed long enough, Harold made land without much trouble. He stepped ashore on the beachy wondering where he was. The sandy beach reminded Harold of picnics, and the thought of picnics made Harold hungry, so he led a nice picnic lunch. There was nothing but pie, but there was all 9 kinds of pie that Harold liked best. When Harold finished his pie, there was quite a lot left. He hated to see so much delicious pie go to waste. So he left a very hungry moose and a deserving porcupine to finish it up, and off he went looking for a hill to climb to see where he was. He knew that.
What's that?
That's a moose.
Moose?
Mhm. Okay, ready, buddy?
Sound of moose.
Yeah.
Harold knew that the higher up he went, the farther he could see. So he decided to make the hill into a mountain. If he went high enough, he thought he could see the window of his bedroom. He was terrified, and he felt he ought to be getting to bed. He happened he could see his bedroom window from the top of the mountain. But as he looked down over the other side, and he slipped, and there was no other side of the mountain. He was falling in thin air. Is that funny? He's falling. But luckily, he kept his wits and his purple crayon.
What's he doing?
He's fallen. He's trying to find his window. Okay, buddy. But luckily, he kept his wits and his purple crayon, and he made a balloon, and he grabbed onto it, and he made a basket big enough to stand in. He had a fine view from the balloon, but he couldn't see his window. He couldn't even see a house, so he made a house with windows, and he landed the balloon on the grass in the front yard. none of the windows was his window. He tried to think where his window ought to be. He made some more windows. He made a big building of windows. He made lots of buildings full of windows. He made a whole city full of buildings full of windows. But none of the windows was his window. He couldn't think where it might be. He decided to ask a policeman. The policeman pointed the way Harold was going anyways, but he thanked him. And he walked.
Officer is saying this way.
Look, the officer is saying, go that way. He walked along with the moon, wasn't wondering where in his room and in bed. Then suddenly he remembered. He remembered where his bedroom window was. It was always he remembered where his bedroom window was.
Doing.
He's drawing.
And what he's doing.
Standing. And there was a moon. It was always there, right around the moon. And then Harold made his bed and got into it. He drew his covers up.
And what he's doing,
he's drawing his covers up, and now he's sleeping. The purple crayon dropped onto the floor, and Harold dropped off to sleep. The end.
Good job, Sissy.